cup of tea or whatever they have in France. He's alongside you. I hope, Bill, it's all yours.
Thick French coffee, to be precise, Eddie. Keep me going for a while, that will. And France get the second half underway, and really they do need to perk up. They looked a very dejected and tired side, and when you've got Maury Fasuvalu stampeding through your ranks like that, well, you are going to get dejected, aren't you? And then James Graham comes with a second attempt. They are throwing their heavyweights at them early on in this second half. Graham gets to his feet to play the ball. Price, and then they go wide to Wilkin. Wilkin puts his foot down, trying to burst through the tackle. It was Sabati who got there, and here's Maury Fasuvalu again. Wrestled to the ground. 4 tackles gone. Fasuvalu slowly to his feet. Sinfield looping pass for Gleeson. Gleeson has got Gardner outside him, one-handed pass, but he was really tight to the touchline and tight to Adi Gardner, and there wasn't a lot that Adi Gardner could do with that.
It was a chance he had to take, and it's very rare that Martin Gleeson gets this out ball where he's able to get outside his opponent, try to fend him off with the left arm, and then release that pass to Gardner. Okay, it goes too hard, but that has to be a combination that we hopefully will take us to the World Cup final.
And the French supporters trying to lift their side. I wonder if they sense, though, that it could get ugly in this second half if England really go to town on them, which they could do. Vincent Duport is tackled by Keith Senior, the senior member of this side, winning his 6th England cap, but of course he's got 33 Great Britain caps as well. And then the penalty goes against England, and I think it was Peter Fox who was penalised. Referee had called release, and they didn't.
Well, again, a great start from England in the second half. You have to sit on the bench in the dressing room for 15 minutes to wait to come back out. But from the whistle and the kick-off of the ball, the charge from Fasuvalu, followed by Graham and everybody else, it's 100 miles an hour again. Great intensity to start the second 40.
But Jamil Fakir demonstrating that the French have got their own battering ram with a good strong run from him. And then the ball for Sébastien Raguin, who's no slouch himself. Once off Toulouse, Raguin. Remy Casti. Takes a bit of stopping, Casti.
Some strong carries from Casti. Takes the men back with him, doesn't he, towards their own try line. Oh!
Big hit that. That was Jamil Fakir who felt that from Maury Fasuvalu. And Fakir is feeling a little bit tender after that, I think. That is a good kick. And Wellens under pressure. Oh, took 2 attempts, Wellens. He was going one way, the ball was going the other one. And very nearly Muniz got in there.
Well, from what we've seen so far, France's best hopes of scoring in the remainder of this match will be through kicks. And I think Wellens and Gardner and Fox are aware of that. They have to be well positioned, and they have to defend their line and their in-goal area as well as possible here. Wellens hoping the ball will go over the dead ball line, but the waiting from Bosk is perfect. And the side will receive possession again here now from this goal line dropout.
Third for England. And the charge with Pierre Sabati in possession. Penalty count has swung around in the French favour. It was 4-2 in England's favour. It's now 7-4 to the French. They're in possession at the moment. James Wynne. Bosk pops the ball up for Muniz. 3 tackles gone. Muniz plays the ball. Bosk again. Bosk for Jamil Fakir, and England alert to the threat that he poses every time he gets the ball. There's somebody there. Well, thankfully, there are more than somebody, 2 or 3 there. The kick, another good kick, and Gardner, I think, will have to deal with that one. Another goal line dropout.
Well, perhaps the cumulative effect of these goal line defence will tire the English side, but at present they've just looked too strong. France have moved the ball around, they've tested them with some inside passes, but they really do look strong on their own line after that one mishap in the first 40. The kick this time by Muniz, but Gardner deals with it well, knocks it eventually over the dead ball line.
4th goal line dropout the French have forced. The in-goal areas do look very big, in fact, quite deep. The French having plentiful possession at the start of this second half, and this is, if they're going to stay in the hunt here, They've got to turn this into points on the board. They trail 16 points to 8 at the moment. Bosk, the England defence holding up, but will it hold up now as Cyril Stakul gets the ball back in field? Ragan can't get the pass away, and that's good defence by England.
I think it's been outstanding defence. OK, Gardner is beaten on the outside, but he gets back to take the man to touch Stakul. Then Price comes over, he takes out Ragan, and although he throws the ball, I think some of the home supporters feel as though this eventually came off maybe Leon Price, but he didn't play at the ball, and England will receive possession, and that's a fair reward for their efforts here. 2 consecutive goal line dropouts, great commitment, well organised in defence, and now they come up with the ball.
It's been a big effort from the French at the start of this second half. They've had England on the back foot. Peter Fox, disappointed to have had that try chalked off in the first half. One of 3 disallowed for England in the first 40 minutes. And they're in possession now, they get the penalty.
Well, we've talked about the aggression from Jamal Fekir, but he goes too high too often. And this is a penalty here now. The last 5 have all gone in favour of France, but here's now one to help England out of their own end zone. He hits Wilkin too high. And the kick to touch has actually failed to find touch. It's been knocked back into play.
And Fox is wrong-footed there. And Younes Katabi runs that ball back. So a let-off for the French really there, but they've still got some work to do to bring this ball away. The French crowd finding their voice, and good ball back on the in-file. Side finds Remy Casti. Casti is tackled.
France have played well, Bill. Those nice short passes back on the inside again. But I think England's concentration, I'm so impressed by it. Defensively coming up with the right decisions.
That's the 5th tackle as Pierre Sabati plays the ball. And Bosk hammers it downfield, but straight into the arms of Paul Wellens, who's got that incredible knack of positioning himself in just the right place and didn't really have to move for that ball. Fox, scooting run from him, almost up to the halfway line. Burrow, haven't seen one of his trademark sniping, darting runs yet, just a hint of it there until he runs into Jamil Fekir, who puts a stop to it. Great ball by Price, got that away quickly for Gleeson. Oh, Gleeson wrong foots the defence. Now can Gardner do the same? Well, no, there's 3 of them there, 2 of them to bring him down. But what great work from Gleeson that was, so smoothly done. Long ball out from Price to Burrow, another pass from Burrow, and Senior. He normally gobbles those up, and he's furious with himself, Keith Senior.
Well, he might be furious, but James Wynn's relieved. He didn't fancy the sight of Keith Senior coming full charge. He has the chance to step inside or outside him. When the ball went to ground, that was relief again. Fekir burst through the first few,
and
but loses possession. And I tell you what England have done well. They've given Martin Gleeson some early possession. That's when he's at his best. Ball in his hands, defenders 5 and 10 metres off him, and he's able to use those feet.
England threatening with Jamie Peacock, and Peacock rumbling towards that try line. The French managing to turn him, but that looked threatening. Peacock looking for another try for his side. Price, again they're going wide. Maguire is on there. Wellens, and Senior this time does take the pass, and Fox does get the try. First one disallowed, no doubt about this one. And great hands again from England. Smooth play across the field. The pass is sticking. The final one reaching Peter Fox.
Well, England have just shown us that they can defend their own line, and then they can score points when they get to the other end of the field. And that's, again, the hallmark of a great side. Maguire recently on the field, it's a good backline shot, and they've made that look easier than what it actually is, to shift the ball from one side of the field to the other against the defence that can be in your face or sliding across, and then find the outside space. Katabi, perhaps lured in by the magnetic pull of Keith Senior, allows Fox to score in the corner. Tough kick here now for Rob Burrow, and an interesting one. If England go to the World Cup and Kevin Sinfield isn't selected in the back row, one would suspect that Rob Burrow will be the kicker. Is he a world-class kicker?
Well, Sinfield is off the field, replaced by Rob Burrow, and Burrow's immediately taking over the kicking duties. Maguire on in place of Kevin Sinfield. Leeds for Leeds. Leeds with the goal-kicking duties. in front of that packed stand on the far side here at the Stade Toulousain on the banks of the River Garonne, and Rob Burrow just sizing this one up. He's kicked 16 international goals already, but he's missed with that one, and coach Tony Smith, his manager Graham Thompson alongside him, presumably liking what he's seen from his side.
I think the passing accuracy from the backs particularly has been superb. Primarily Leon Price, Rob Burrow and now Danny Maguire. The width and accuracy and the speed that allows and encourages players like Wellens to come onto the ball. It gives them confidence and it makes it very, very difficult to defend against.
A great moment for Peter Fox then in his international debut, a career that at one stage maybe looked as though it wasn't going to reach the heights. He was released by Leeds, or rather farmed out to York City Knights from Leeds, and then things started to get back on track with Wakefield, John Keir giving him a chance, and then Hull Kingston Rovers, and under Justin Morgan he's blossomed even more, and now he's blossomed to the extent that he's in this England side. He's on the score sheet tonight, and that, okay, he's 26 now, but that's a reward for endeavour, for just sticking to your games. And England coming again down that wing. Maguire back in field to Senior.
I suspect he might score some more if he continues to play outside Keith Senior at international level. Particularly here tonight, they've looked on all occasions whenever possible to shift the ball wide.
Well, there was a lot of talk last season about how long Keith Senior would go on, and even some suggestions, mainly from the media. I don't think they were from Senior himself, that he might call it a day, but he's out there tonight, the longest serving player in this England side. England in possession again. They're ahead by 20 points to 8 as Maguire hoists that kick on the last tackle. And Fox chasing that one down to pin Younes Kitabi.
Again, they're doing the little things so well. I think Fox just waited intensely. He knew there's an attempt sometimes by players to get involved before the ball's in the defender's hands, and therefore a penalty conceded. We often see it, but he just waited back patiently. Kitabi took possession, he took the tackle.
Carrasco is tackled. Rinaldi, Anselm. 5 tackles gone, and England really making the French work hard now, and it's a kick from inside his own 40 from Thomas Bosk, and that's a long kick, and Gardner will field that one in his own in-goal area. Doesn't run dead. Is a good kick from Bosk, but a good pass from Gardner finds Wellens, and Wellens makes good progress from his side.
Well, that's always an indication that your opponents are starting to fatigue. When the middle chase allows the gaps and the wingers and fullbacks to link up, you know that maybe you've got them on the ropes.
And it was Gardner again with the second carry, and now here's Adrian Morley back on the field. Not far behind Keith Senior in terms of seniority in this England side. Great pass from Burrow, finds Wilkin, and Price. What a great adjustment that was from Price. And look at Senior motor right through the middle. Hot knife through butter, in for the try, under the posts. Keith Senior gets try number 14 of his international career for Great Britain and England, and that was immaculate from England. The adjustment from Leon Price, just to make that little yard of space.
Well, I think again, if England are to win the World Cup, it's their outside backs that need to improve. Over the last 5 or 6 years, we've perhaps matched Australia and New Zealand in the middle of the field, but we haven't had the clinical approach, and we haven't been able to finish and score points when necessary. This is a great example of what we need to be able to do. Price, Senior linking up at pace and scoring 50, 60 metre efforts. That's the sign of a world-class effort. And I think the ability of the forwards to offload, and then the link play there between Leon Price, Keith Senior. Gleeson ran a good line earlier, okay, didn't get far with it, but on this occasion it's Senior who intelligently timed the run, waiting and expecting possession, and then charging through for the try.
So Keith Senior, whose first international was against the French, still going strong, and on the score sheet, the try under the posts, the conversion from Burrow, and England stretching away with it now, ahead by 26 points to 8. Keith Senior with the latest try.
Perhaps an example again of how Leon Price has improved in the last couple of years. He's consistently been able to play at the standoff position for St Helens. He himself admits that he's learnt so much by being able to do that. And Leon Price, perhaps, you know, he could potentially finish this year as the best player in the world if he continues to improve at the rate he has in the last 6 months.
Wellens and Graham. Well, it's a good French chase, an enthusiastic reception committee from Rinaldi and Jamil Fakir. But the gaps are appearing, and A.D. Gardner making space there. He wants to get on the score sheet as well. He's been denied one already tonight, and Morley just cutting through there as well. And England really could go to town now as Burrow picks it up and scampers. There was a French hand in there, and they were offside as well, I think. Or was it high? It was high, says the referee.
Well, if it was a tug of war, France have completely slipped over, and most of the players have lost grip of the rope. They're really sliding along this pitch here, and the relief as the ball goes out is momentary, because that kick to touch just continues possession for England.
Maguire thumps it into touch. Burrow with the tap. Graham. Anselm with the tackle on the Saints prop. He plays the ball. Burrow. Maguire. Here is Price. Price slicing through. Couldn't quite get there. It was a good tackle from Fakir that delayed him. Bosk was there as well. Maguire pops it up for Wellens. Wellens trying to wrestle his way over. He can't get there. 3 tackles gone. Gleeson it is who ships the ball out. Then Price, then Burrow. Now Roby, there's a hand in there. And the referee will bring him back. It was, I think, Vincent Dupont who just stuck out a hand in desperation. And Jason Robinson spotted that one. It's a hot night for him as well. The referees, I think, feeling the pace.
Well, it's their big right paw, isn't it, to prevent the ball going wide. But I think the accuracy of the passing from England tonight, the best I've ever seen it. You see Rob Burrow now playing hooker.
26-8, England lead against the French.
Roby at loose forward.
And reset the scrum, says the referee. England then looking for more points, and Price off. Well, I think he'd done half the hard work there, but then he lost his footing, and Peacock. England going sideways. Roby, nice step in field from Roby, then went back out again. Burrow pops it up for Morley. Morley trying to twist and turn and get his way over. He can't do that. Good defence on their own try line from the French. Oh, Price makes a mess of that one.
I'll just have to compliment the passing ability of the side. They let us down here. This one goes behind Leon Price. He needed it in front of him, didn't it? 12 inches with a pass makes such a difference to the play. Behind him, it's down. Scoring opportunity gone. And you know, in just over 55 minutes of the match, that's about the second error you can remember from the England side. One was to concede a try, and that one there perhaps loses one.
The French struggling to live with this England side now. The longer this game goes on, the bigger the struggle becomes. And this is where you miss the key players, the likes of Gresek. They're unavailable. Rinaldi now plays the ball. And you can tell how desperate the French supporters have got because the Mexican wave has started. And even that's half-hearted.
Probably one of the most important players for France is David Ferriol, the big front rower who's not playing tonight. He makes a difference to them, and they'll be hoping that he's available for the World Cup games against Scotland and Fiji. Again, charge down kick, good work by England. Is that a knock-on?
There's a knock-on there, yeah.
Trent Clayton. This is a turnover. How quickly will England go? Morley wants to play the ball.
Gardner goes, says the ref. So he does. And then they get the ball out wide to Senior. Senior has Fox outside him. Fox comes back in field. I think they did Peter Fox an injustice. Put 3 years on his age. He's only 23 years old, the Hull Kingston Rovers winger. Plays that ball. James Graham now. Movement! Oh. Referee calls for movement from the French. It's a struggle. Wilkin, Price, Ellis back out there. Now then, Gleeson just goes on the outside and gets over at the try line. Gets the try, surely. But it's going to be another video ref call. And as Gleeson got his second of the game.
Well, we've seen Martin Gleeson do some spectacular things in his time, but look at that. He makes it look so easy, doesn't he? It's a stutter of the feet. He jumps before the man, lands on 2 feet, and then pushes off his left so quick. Look, jump, bang. It's done within a nanosecond, and it's the reason why he got round his man, and I think scored again here. Good passing accuracy. Look at the width with which England have played tonight. Most of the tries scored out wide. And it's given Gleeson an opportunity to show us just how good a player he is. Does his foot hit the corner flag though before he grounds possession? Well, that angle doesn't quite show it. Something hits it. There's no doubt about him grounding the ball. Keep your eyes on the white line and his feet. No. Oh, well, Eddie Gardner hides it, doesn't he? We can't see because of Gardner from that angle. At some point, his foot probably does trail the white line.
Does it make contact with
Good
that
effort
corner
by Gregory
post, Phil?
Muniz.
Well, you can't see there either.
No, none of them are conclusive. I think you have to award the try. This is the best one, but Gardner gets in the way before you see the ball grounded.
But logically, he's got that ball down before he hits the corner flag. And Muniz desperately trying to stop him. Or was it Muniz's foot that actually touched the post? The try is awarded. Gleeson gets his second of the night. And dejection on the face of Adel Felous and the French players. I think they know the jig is up. Been a battling performance from them. They've had their moments in the game, but England getting a grip on the match. Another try for Gleeson. And Burrow with this conversion attempt. He'll be saying thank you very much. Kevin Sinfield's on. Most of the tries are scored under the posts. Rob Burrow comes on and they start scoring them out wide.
I think you better get used to that. If you want to score in the World Cup, it'll be hard to score anywhere. If you get one out wide, you need to turn it into 6 points. Hard to recreate that experience, but Rob Burrow has.
He's landed that one, a great kick from Rob Burrow, and applause from the French spectators for that bit of work. And look at this work from Gleeson.
Well, I think all of the England team are aware just how hot Martin Gleeson is tonight, and whenever possible to give him the ball. He wants possession. He almost commands possession when he's in this sort of mood and form.
And Gleeson, of course, subject of rumours that's suggesting that he's on his way to Australia. There have been stories that that's where his future might lie. The French try the short restart. They trail by 32 points to 8. It comes up for them. It's with Laurent Carrasco. And Carrasco, popular Toulouse player, gets a roar from the crowd. Bosque. And then Felous plays the ball. Well, can the French respond? Win. Eric Anselm. The crowd have forgotten the Mexican wave for the moment. Maybe their side can get some points on the board here. Rinaldi. Win. Bosque pops it up. It's Olivier Elimer who's tackled. Did he step off the mark there? Rinaldi trying to duck under for the try. He's held. That's the 5th tackle. The ball comes back to Win. Win stabs a little kick in. Gardner under pressure from Cyril Stakoul. And there'll be another goal line dropout, and that's the 5th. And that is evidence of the pressure that England have been under. They've been put under.
You have to have a degree of sympathy for France in that I don't think England have played this well, or this collective group as Great Britain as well, for a number of years. Everyone on top of the game here tonight, up for this as if it's a World Cup match.
Great being on top of your game in the middle of the summer, isn't it? We need them to be on top of their game come October. Well, are they going to be on top of their game in 4 months' time?
Well, one would hope so, won't they, when they meet Papua New Guinea, and they'll be hoping they don't meet... Oh, what play by Fekir!
It almost came off.
Penalty, because Wilkins is adjudged to have tackled the support man and a bit of descent as well.
And they marched 10. It was Adel Felous.
That's a powerful run.
I beg your pardon.
Burst through John Wilkin. Jamal Fekir finds Olivier Elimer, and then they're saying that he was tackled without possession. It's fired up the crowd.
So a goal line dropout followed by a penalty, in England under a bit of pressure. Rinaldi, Thomas Bosque pops that ball up. Carrasco, it's on. Oh, and Carrasco could have got there himself, I fancy, but it ends up in the hands of Cyril Stakoul. And maybe that was the best opportunity for the French. They're still in possession. Win, whose try opened the scoring very early on in this game. It seems a distant memory now that the French were 6-0 up. The ball finds its way to Adel Felous from Julien Rinaldi. The French just to the left of those posts. Win. Bosc puts the kick in, it's another good one. Fox has time to gather that one and then bring it away. Good work from the winger.
Well, you have to say, what's that? Almost 12 tackles on the line again. Look solid, look controlled. Fox in the right place. Very, very good goal line defence from England. For over an hour of this match, an opportunity now for Maguire to demonstrate his control and influence over the side. Kicks to touch, talking to the players around him. It's going to take a squad effort if England want to be successful down under at the end of the year. There's no doubt that you'll experience injuries throughout a World Cup campaign, if not before the end of the season.
Well, Tony Smith saying on Boots and All at that England shirt launch last week that while this was an opportunity for the players in possession of the shirt tonight, there are others. There's still plenty of time to go before that those airline tickets are booked for other players, but this is a great opportunity for these players out here to stake a claim, and they're doing so at the moment. And Gleeson looking for a hat-trick, comes back in field, he's going to get his hat-trick! Martin Gleeson bamboozling the French defence with his fancy footwork there to go in for try number 3. Calmly accepts the congratulations of his teammates.
Well, you know when one of your teammates is hot, and the England players recognise that Martin Gleeson has to be given the ball. OK, there's a chance outside perhaps for Gardner, but he senses that with all of the cover coming across, it will be a pass that put Gardner under pressure, so elected to step back inside. The 3-man overran him, and then it was either him or support back on the inside. Ball from one end to the other, Senior finding Gleeson, steps back inside the 3 and 4 defenders and outpaces Bosc to score closer to the post.
And Burrow will look to add for England the extras. First international hat-trick for Martin Gleeson. And Burrow with this conversion attempt. So England now cruising towards a big scoreline. Burrow does add the extras, 38-8 the scoreline. Last visit to France in 2004, England won 42-4 in Avignon. Well, this Gleeson try has put them on the way to another big win.
It's perhaps the end as well of his involvement here tonight. Senior threw the ball. He's in such great form that he had to back himself. He knew that he had the pace and the evasion to get him over the line. And shortly following that, he's now been removed from the field. Sinfield's gone on to take his place. Tony Smith testing the versatility of his players. I think Martin Gleeson may have some sort of foot or ankle problem.
Well, if such is the situation, there's no need to take risks with his players. And France once more in possession. They've had their fair share of the ball, haven't they? But they just haven't been able to find, apart from that early episode when James Wynne caught them napping, they really haven't found a way through this England defence.
Well, dealing with short kickoffs might be one of the areas that Tony Smith has to address, but again, it gives his side a great practice almost at having to defend against France. They don't want too much possession. They want to learn how to defend with the man inside and outside.
Move! Square markers! Straight down spin!
So France, with Jamil Fakir, who really hasn't stopped trying since he came on the field.
Hillside!
But it's been a thankless task for the French pack. Rinaldi. Bosc delaying the pass and delayed it too long. Fortunately, Sebastian Ragan was able to retrieve it, but that was on the last. It'll be the turnover. And French looking ragged now.
Even inside the final quarter of the match, England's defence looks strong. Maybe a little drop in their the intensity from the English side. But I tell you what, for 60 minutes they've been so impressive with and without the ball.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time for more tries from this England side, and they're hungry for them. And look at Wilkin with the run, and Wilkin trying to get past Clayton, and Clayton just did enough to stop him until the reinforcements arrived. But England, again, mounting an attack. Well, look forward from Sinfield to Wellens, but the kick from Wellens finds a touch.
Well, if you are being hypercritical of the England side, you'd have to say then that when Wilkin makes this break, there aren't any supporting players around him. And it is an opportunity. Maguire gets there, but perhaps too late to assist his number 16 teammate.
England on an early flight back tomorrow morning from Toulouse, and as I said earlier on, a suggestion that one or two of these Leeds players might double up. Leeds, of course, playing Castleford Tigers at Headingley tomorrow evening. Can you see that happening?
It does happen. It's happened previously. It's
with
happened,
Origin players, hasn't it?
has happened in Australia. It's happened over here. Oh, Gareth Ellis got a bad bang in there. Did you see his head pull
he's one of them
backwards?
suggested to be playing tomorrow. Be interesting to see if they do turn out.
You sleep on Sunday night if you do that.
Wait on the 10. Wait. Go.
Rinaldi. Fakir again. And the Catalan Dragons players are going to have a pretty limited recovery period as well, because they're in action on Tuesday at Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, a game you can see live on Sky Sports. It's going to be tough for them, isn't it?
Very difficult, especially against Wakefield now, with that remarkable win to finish off at Hull Kingston Rovers. They certainly left the side, but I think John Keir knows that his team will probably have to play better than they did at Hull KR.
Bosk with
the side in third place in the Super League table.
Bosk with the kick, it's too strong, and Wellens watches that one run dead. It's going to be a tough week, in fact, for the Catalan Dragons, because they stay in England. I think they've got Hull the following Sunday.
Well, they've had a great time over the last couple of months. Eventually, they're going to lose a match. I can't see them completing the season going unbeaten. But it's how they then deal with that loss, because it breaks the cycle and the habit of winning. And that's here what England and Tony Smith are hoping to build on, this continual habit of winning, the confidence it provides, the aura that team and players can build, because they just keep putting up the wins on the board.
Well, they are. They won the Test series against New Zealand 3-0. And they've won 7 in a row against the French. It's going to be 8 in a row after this one, as Burrow finds Senior, and Senior motoring again. He's got support on the inside. The ball hacked forward. Fox still chasing it, but it's going to end up in touch, and it was knocked on, I think, is the decision of referee Jason Robinson from Australia.
Well, it's Ellis who kicks the ball forward, doesn't it? Eric Anselm dives to challenge with Peter Fox, but eventually taken over the sideline. Clayton there, look at the power from Keith Senior. He's done well to get under one of his players. And Fox thinks there's a chance here for another try in the corner. But Clayton carries it out of play. And we can see maybe a bit of speed and magic in the backs.
Oh, and look at Eric Anselm. He's a bit of a mess, and you saw him go down, actually. He was involved in that as the ball was kicked forward, and I think he might have caught a boot. The Albi player who's on loan at Leeds Rhinos at the moment, he's going to need a bit of attention. And on in his place will go Vincent Duport.
Well, you know how I love to see tries from Scrumville. I'm just hoping Tony Smith and the team can find one here. There's a great formation. Price is wide. Burrow hanging out the back. They've gone short side. Well read by De France, though.
And Burrow
had that covered.
Yeah, having to change his direction. Coming back in field, saw the avenue was blocked. Sinfield now. Mori Fasavalu. Already got one try to his name tonight. He is tackled. Sinfield, Maguire, Wilkin is clattered. What a clatter that was as well from Cyril Stakul. The crowd like that. John Wilkin wasn't so appreciative of it. Peacock again, spinning out of the first tackle. Fakir and Rinaldi bring him down. And they're in again, and it's Wilkin, I think, who's got the ball down, or has he? And another video ref decision, just to see whether John Wilkin got that ball down.
Well, we've seen some spectacular tries. Here's a simple one.
Yes.
Does he get the ball on the ground?
Try.
He's relaxed at that point. Thinks he's grounded it once. The first point of contact, Sebastian Regan. I don't know yet, probably just the tip of the ball.
It's a try. But you've got to reach a consensus in that. We have, remember, 2 video refs. You've got Richard Silverwood and Francis Desplat. There probably has to be a voting system and referendum and things like that. The try is awarded, though. They reach consensus on that, and John Wilkin adds his name to the score sheet. And England top 40 points now.
Has been clattered once a time with the ball. He's come up with some good and some speedy runs as well. And Wilkin's been rewarded with a little try there, crashing over. Nice vision by Kevin Sinfield. I think France expecting the long shift on the far side of the field. Sometimes simplicity pays off.
weary and dejected looking French players. They were pretty optimistic ahead of this game, albeit because of the absentees of Jérôme Guisset, Gressek, Christophe Molly and David Ferriol, but they still felt that they had something to offer tonight.
Well, there's some intelligent planning going into the World Cup from France. 4 of the players who don't play with the Catalan Dragons and whose season has currently ended are heading over to the Brisbane Broncos to spend 8 weeks there training and preparing before they return back to France. All initiated by John Monet. Here's a short pass there. Just put himself in between the defenders, the hallmark of all the great Saints players over the last few years. Close to the line. They expect it from Cunningham or Roby. This time it's Sinfield. Hand in the air. That one will do me.
8 tries for England and 3 of them for Martin Gleeson. So what a night he's had. What a night England have had. 42-14 it was last year at Headingley. Well, they've bettered that. That was Great Britain, of course, but they've bettered that tonight as they're in their England guys as Maury Fassavoulou takes that ball in there. One of the try scorers for England. Roby, the French wrestling to get the ball off him.
Get square, let him go.
Olivier Ellimer not willing to let him go. Just trying to limit the damage now as Ellis motors through a gap. Maguire is on his shoulder. Maguire now, has he got the pace? Great ball back from Maguire, but the French just managing to keep pace with them. But England once more threatening. Maguire, Burrow, little step from Burrow, ducks away from the first challenge. Can't get away from Gregory Muniz. He's worked hard for his side as the loose forward, Gregory Muniz, tonight. Ellis, Price juggling the ball, finds Peacock, ever willing, the captain.
Held 5.
That's the 5th tackle. And Price marshalling the troops there. It's Maguire who'll put the pass in, back on the inside. There was a French hand in there. The ball is scooped up. The referee will bring him back for a knock-on.
I'm saying that the referee played at the ball. What a remarkable effort for France to survive there. The line by Ellis to penetrate through, and then the support from Maguire got England into this part of the field. Now, does Dupont play at the ball? The referee says so. I'm not so sure whether in a game of Super League the benefit of the doubt might have been given to the defending play here. Look at Leon Price almost playing here now with the French. Juggles to himself, offloads to Peacock. But France's commitment to get back and survive for the full 6 tackles.
Trent Clayton down in back play, having treatment for cramp. The clock is stopped, and you probably weren't the only French player feeling sore. It's been a long, hard night for them. The clock running down, but England aren't finished yet. Price hasn't finished yet. He's stopped just short. Thomas Bosque with the tackle. 25 past 10, the local time here in Toulouse. And England throwing a bit of a party now. They lead by 44 points to 8.
You're not doing yourself any favours.
And Jason Robinson really does communicate very loudly with the players, and Maguire joins the list of scorers tonight, adds his name to the score sheet. Great pass from Ellis, popped it up for Maguire, as ever lurking in support, looking for the opportunity.
Well, that's great play, isn't it? Kevin Sinfield created one earlier in the game. Keeping the ball alive is one of his best at. Gets his hands on the ball, arms free from the tackle, and he just hopes that the support will be there, left or right. It's probably years of combination, isn't it? Maguire has instinctively learnt when to time that run. As Sinfield falls to the ground, he has to burst onto the ball, take it cleanly, and then make sure he grounds it well.
That's what you want from your bench, isn't it? You've got 3 of the try scorers tonight have come off the bench to add their name to that list. That's pretty effective, isn't it?
Certainly, it's where at the highest level of rugby you almost need 4 players on the bench better than some of the 13 on the field, or to come on and play at a higher level.
Sinfield back on the field and back involved in the kicking duties, adds that one, and England reach 50 points with this try.
Well, perhaps look at the deception there from Robura, looking as if he was going to pass the ball behind Sinfield, but threw it softly into his hands. And just that, you know what, so little, but Tulling lies with his eyes, created the opportunity for Sinfield to get the arms free.
There's got to be a lyric there somewhere, hasn't there?
Look, he's looking at Maguire and then passes it to Sinfield. Brilliant play. Well executed. Probably made on the training ground in Leeds.
That was the Eagles, wasn't it? You can't hide your lying eyes.
They've been almost like an eagle, haven't they, this English side tonight, really? Just waiting, stalking, and then with a chance to pounce on the prey. Make that scoreboard tick over.
Still 10 minutes or so on it. And England, well, they've got surely what they wanted out of this and more, but not there because the pass was forward, says the referee. Rob Burrow not so certain about that decision from Jason Robinson. Pretty glum faces in the background of the French supporters, came here with high hopes.
I think that one then from Ellis Senior was forward. Just time, I think, now to have a little bit of fun if you're playing for England.
Stay back.
And the referee just asking players to calm down.
Wants all the four props to keep the feet back.
Out.
So the French have possession with Bosque. Here's the fullback Clayton. And Clayton with Price and Maguire all over him. Bosque. Well, that looked forward to Sebastian Raga. He plays the ball. Clayton. Thomas Bosque. Felous. He's tackled, and the penalty goes against the English, and something in the tackle there from Sinfield, I think. Was it a grapple tackle?
Well, it's a good test of concentration.
Oh, yeah.
Arm there on his head from Sinfield.
So the French, can they just finish with a bit of a flourish here? They open the scoring. Still time for them to end it. And the crowds urging them on as Muniz plays the ball. Rinaldi, one dummy runner, then finds Wynne. Wynne looking to add to the tally. He's collared by Peacock. Rinaldi. Felous reversing towards the try line, and then Rinaldi going backwards without the ball for a while. He eventually gets a hold of it, but France have lost a lot of ground. Little kick ahead from Anselm, who's back on with that head bandaged, but it's England who come up with possession.
Quick reactions by Sinfield. He was sensing an opportunity to score there on the 0 play, picking up and scoring, looking to find support. We're over here now, back on the field, running well from dummy half.
England leading by 50 points to 8 now. And here is Peacock. Carrasco with the tackle. And Leon Price back on the inside to Maguire. Maguire shaped to kick, finds Wellens, and Wellens will get another try for England. The 10th of the night for the English team. And Paul Wellens gets his 8th try in international colours for England and for Great Britain.
I think it's England's ability to keep the ball alive. Leon Price on this occasion, Kevin Sinfield on the one before it. If you can keep your arms free, and then you have the support of players flooding onto the side of you, you've got a chance. Danny Maguire does remarkably well there. I think he almost considered the option of kicking ahead, but then must have heard the call from Paul Wellens back on the inside. It's a quick pick up and go. This is where Leon Price is so dangerous. Even if you stop him, it's hard to stop him in possession. And Paul Wellens pressing the accelerator, pushing hard to score close. Again, making this kick easy. But again, it's the support play, so impressive tonight. This time Paul Wellens coming in from the fullback position.
Paul Wellens, who made his debut, his international debut against the French in 2001 in Agen, when England won by 42 points to 12. He got a try that night. He's got a try tonight against the French for England. Sinfield has converted it, and England disappearing into the... Well, they're already over the hill.
Well, if the markers aren't set and square, ready in position in the starting blocks, Leon Price will try to take advantage, and he did that. He just knows when to pick up and go from there.
Well, this is France's heaviest defeat under John Money, and back down to earth with a bump for the French. They'd won 3 from 5 last year, that series win against PNG, the win against Scotland, a great performance against the Kiwis, which must have given them some hope, but this, a bit of a rude awakening for this French side from a very impressive England team.
10.
But as we said, I mean, it's great doing this now.
Hold.
June.
I think you'd be more worried, Bill, though, if England had lost. You know, you're almost criticising them for playing too well.
No, you just hope that they can reach this pitch. They'll still be at this pitch.
Well,
come
the first
October.
thing that you've got to hope is that all these players are available and aren't injured. I think there's only one or two at the moment from England's perspective unavailable. Perhaps Sean O'Loughlin, you know, out injured at the moment. Maybe Gareth Rayner weren't available for this match, although they may play this weekend. Earlier in the week when Tony Smith ran some medicals and had to decide who was available, those two players, in fact with O'Loughlin the three, weren't available to train. So that's the reason why they're not here tonight.
Square.
Peacock plays the ball. Burrow thumps the kick downfield into the last 5 minutes of the game. England then, this will be great preparation for their World Cup trip. Just 119 days, and it's not just the England men, of course, who've got a World Cup to think of. England's women too, as in Australia, and they have an important warm-up game next month at Widnes. England's women taking on the French. So the English women, with their eyes on a World Cup, an interesting participant in that game will be Joanne Watmore, who'll become, I think, the first dual-code international in women's rugby. But here come the French, trying to finish with a flourish. Clayton has got support. Back on the arm, Bosque has gone without it. Clayton did all the hard work, and Thomas Bosque went without the ball. And Eric Anselm, hands on his knees, and Thomas Bosque, well, he just slipped out of his grasp.
I think the home support got overexcited, and so did Thomas Bosque, didn't he? Just not had that sort of opportunity tonight, although he still had 3 white jerseys to try to evade. I'm not saying he would have scored from that position.
The Catalan Dragon standoff was thinking of his 3rd international try there, but it wasn't to be. And no chance for France to increase their tally. Just the 1 try for them, scored then by James Wynne early on. Since then it's been England, increasingly all England.
Well, they had 8 lining up in the backs there. That's why the referee made that scrum reform.
13, not square, 13.
10 tries for England. Martin Gleeson getting 3 of them. What a night it has been for the Warrington Wolves centre.
Hold.
Gardner, amazingly, not among the try scorers. Well, in a try fest like this, you would have put your money on Super League's joint top try scorer being among the try scorers here tonight, but he's missed out. I should imagine for a winger, that is infuriating.
Well, I should imagine if he comes with that St Helens mentality, he won't have given up hope of scoring. He can get in support of something like this.
Maury Fassavalu and Gregory Muniz, who has been heroic for the French side tonight, was just clattered out of the way. As Maguire puts the kick in, and Sinfield on the save wavelength is chasing that. It's going to be too strong, but the French are going to have to make sure of that. And even at this stage of the game, with the game wrapped up, the chasers were still there. Well, they were there from Kevin Sinfield.
Well, Kevin Sinfield's forced a goal line drop, but Younis Katabi's right knee there, just knocking the ball over the dead ball line. He didn't fancy trying to take in possession and outpace Sinfield. So there's still a chance for Aidy Gardner to come up with this try. One of the French players just injured in the field of play. That's why there's I
think it's another case of cramp. It's James Wynne. So a goal line dropout. And Burrow underneath that. Maury Fassavalu coming back, and the French players with Laurent Carrasco leading the way, there to meet him.
Wait, go.
They haven't shirked their duties. They just haven't been able to cope with this England play.
2. Move, up and square.
Peacock,
Hold.
another captain's knock from him. Burrow fires the pass out. Maguire puts the brakes on, gets it away to Wellens. So Wellens puts the kick in. Fox will chase that, but it's going to be too strong for him. He made a good effort at it, but it'll be a restart on the 20.
Well, the modern day rugby league team need to be both physical and clinical, and England have been both tonight. The skill level has been outstanding. OK, that kick's gone out of play, but the one prior forced a goal line dropout. Most of what they've done tonight has been 9 out of 10. And I think it's the reason why they're almost going to win this match by 50 points.
It's a painful night for the French, the pain inflicted by this English team, and the knock-on from France there as the clock counts down. Referee Jason Robinson will bring them back. And England can take so many positives from this, can't they?
I think they can. I think Tony Smith and the supporters now back home excited and looking forward to perhaps following the side down under. We'll be getting the maps out and the guidebooks, and I'm sure getting the tickets for the matches. Because you now think we could go to the World Cup with some hope. It's been a confident and positive display. Sinfield kicks from the scrum.
And Price is chasing it, the hooter is sounding, and the ball is shuffled dead by Cyril Stackhoul. It's the final action of the game, and it's a resounding win for England against the French. 10 try scorers in this victory, a hat-trick for Martin Gleeson, and England are red hot in their World Cup warm-up game, winning by 56 points to 8.
Yes, a magnificent win for the English, and the World Cup bid is